Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So, today I wanted to have a discussion about what Volume 6 needs to teach us about Ozpin and Salem, and considering that it's been a long time coming, I think that Volume 6 needs to start telling us a little bit about their characters and about the beginning of their story. So I really want to go into this, so sit back, relax, I hope you all enjoy, and let's go ahead and jump right on into this discussion. So, a time that was long forgotten is one thing that has been told to us at the beginning of RWBY Volume 1. And that would go back to the very beginning of Remnant itself. It goes back to the beginning of RWBY, and this is a time period that has not really been discussed a whole lot about. Now, of course, that conversation was between Salem and Ozpin. And now that we are about to be 6 volumes into this series, one thing that we need to start really learning is about Ozpin and Salem's backstory, their beginning, and how their conflict had originally started. And this really needs to be shown to us, not just told, but shown as well. Because the importance of this is, it tells us more about how everything started, how everything got to where it was, and why there is a war between these two characters and their factions. And the thing is, this also will give us more insight to their own characters, because where there is one story, there's also another. It's like two sides of a coin. You always have one side and another, which that means two sides to every story. So, looking at this, we have an idea of Salem's behalf, but we don't have Ozpin's. Now, you're probably asking, how do we really know that much about Salem's? Well, Divide itself is Salem's theme, and if you pay very close attention to that theme, it will tell you the reason why she is fighting against Ozpin himself. It gives us some ideas. It doesn't tell us everything, but it gives us ideas and clues as to why Salem is against Ozpin. And one thing I really hope is that this does get explained. I would rather Ozpin start to subtly come out with this and start to tell us a bit about this, or at least Oscar can be the one to figure out the story. Now, I do think that Ozpin should be more truthful with his group, and it's like what Yang stated, that there shouldn't be any more half-truths, and there shouldn't be any more lies. That everything should start to be on a trustworthy note, that everybody can trust one another, and that Ozpin should be more open with the people that follow him. Because if you look at how Ozpin has treated his followers thus far, he has kept them in the dark. And by exploring this backstory between Ozpin and Salem, we might start to find out why he keeps a lot of this in the dark. But not only this, this can give more character depth to both of these characters. Now, of course, Ozpin has been seen more than Salem, so he does have a bit more characteristics than Salem at the time being, because she is a bit more on the one-dimensional side. So, the benefit to this backstory, as well as trying to help us put together the puzzle of their backstory and how things started, is this can give Salem and Ozpin a bit more characteristics, a bit more to who they are and what they desire. And it may even tell us about their relationship, how things started between the two of them in general. Not just how they had their conflict, but how they met. And what was it like before they started fighting? Could they have been friends at one time? You know, there's so many things that this backstory alone could help us explore, help us see and learn about the two characters, and maybe we could see more of a good side to both of them, and more of a bad side to both of them at the same time. You know, there's so many things that there could just be explored here, that could just be brought up, and the way that I want this to also be done, I do, like I said, show it. Don't just tell us, because one thing the Volume 5 had a problem with was, when it came to trying to answer questions, it didn't do a very good job of that. The execution was rather poor. And for something as important as this, we need to see this play out. Because it puts the setting out there, and it puts the emotion into the setting. And this is something that a story in general should have. And for this backstory, this would be great. And I think that this is something that just really needs to be done. And I think it tells a story a lot better. I think it puts it together much better than just telling us. And I want this to be the beginning of the story. I don't want it to be the full story of Ozpin and Salem, because what they can do with just making this the first half of the story. Because the way they could do this is they could keep a little bit of mystery in Ozpin and Salem's story by not telling us the whole thing, and as time goes on, more of the history of these two starts to unravel. Because we have over 1,000 years of these characters, meaning there could be so many more things over time that could unravel between the two that we could learn about Ozpin and Salem's intentions. That would be good to eventually over time show how they have done things over these thousands of years. And when you think about it, another thing that they could do is they could actually teach us how Salem knows about Ozpin's reincarnation. Because back in Volume 4, when you think back on it, when Salem is talking to Cinder, if you remember, she had doubt that Cinder killed Ozpin, therefore meaning that Salem herself had known Ozpin may not be dead. She had a feeling that he probably isn't completely gone. And this could also teach us how Salem knows of Ozpin's reincarnation. I think that would be a nice thing to actually figure out, to see how she knows about this. And if she didn't know about this, she would never have questioned Cinder if he was dead in the first place. She just would have thought, okay, well, he's dead, so we're done with that. So obviously she knows about it, and that's why she had doubt that Cinder had killed him. So that could be another thing. And when you think about it, considering that, another thing here, it could also tie into the idea of Ozpin's magic too. This could teach us more about that, and I think that would be a good thing to see, considering we know he's the one who gave the maidens their powers. That's how they got their magical abilities in the first place. So this could be a good way to really show what Ozpin could do with his magic, and how powerful he actually was at one time. That would be a great thing to actually see and demonstrate, because as we know, Ozpin stated himself that his magic power has dwindled over time. So to see it at a much greater level of strength, that would be a very great thing to see. Not only that, but Ozpin's aura training would be another thing I would actually enjoy seeing, because if you remember in the World of Remnant episode about aura, that if you train your aura enough, then you can be more than just an ordinary person. Obviously stating Ozpin. So I really hope that this is remembered. I hope this is brought up into the story, because that is such a important thing, and I really would love to see that. But this could also be another thing we could learn, is Ozpin's reincarnations. I hope that we could actually see more of other individuals in the past and what they may have been like when Ozpin had actually become one with them in their body, and see how that actually played out as well. That would be another interesting thing to actually see. But looking at it, there's a lot that they could start with, and then over time add more to showing us, not just telling, but showing us, and we could learn more about Ozpin and Salem's characters respectively through this story. Because we get the concept of Salem's point of view, but we need to really start seeing Ozpin's as well, and I hope that the story really starts to shed light on both of their points of view, but Ozpin's specifically, because we have so many questions that really need to be answered about their ongoing war. And I think that Volume 6 is a good place to start. I think that after all of these years, we have had up to 6 years now, and I think it's about time we start seeing this story get explored a little bit more, being shown to us, told to us, answering some questions that we may actually have. And maybe this can even start to answer the question from Volume 1 of Ozpin's statement stating, "I've made more mistakes than any man, woman, or child ever have." So hopefully we'll start to get more answers. But let me know what you think down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down below. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, hit the video with a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and share this with your friends if you found this informative or useful. Well, anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.